Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the first National Data Dissemination Forum on Construction Statistics from Approved Building Permits, with the theme Building Smarter, Shaping Construction Landscape Through Statistics. I am Jordan Arnaiz, and it's my honor to be your host for this event. And we would like to inform everyone that we are officially live on the official Facebook page of the Philippine Statistics Authority. Ladies and gentlemen, to officially start our program, may I request everyone to please stand for the doxology and please remain standing for the singing of the Philippine National Anthem.
Loving and gracious Heavenly Father, we acknowledge your holy presence today. We thank you for you are our infinite source of peace, love, and wisdom. We know that your Holy Spirit guides us and directs us. Lord, we entrust to you everything in our lives. In spite of various challenges that we are facing in our society, we remain steadfast to cling to your words as we believe that you will always make a way for us. As we start to do our job of the week, we always pray for your spiritual guidance and direction because we are nothing without you. We need you, Father God, not only in moments of great difficulty and danger, but in every second of our lives. Lord, we pray for our leaders, from the president down to the lowest position in the government. Grant them with your heavenly wisdom. Help them to live and govern with integrity, and always give them the strength to do what is right for the benefit of everyone. As employees of the government, we likewise pray for your guidance and direction. Guide us in the work we do, that we may do it not for self alone, but for the common good. Teach us always to perform our job faithfully and diligently, so that we will always be a blessing and a source of inspiration to our co-employees, especially to the people who need our services. Give us always the strength to do, patience to bear, and let our courage never fails. All of these things we ask and pray in Jesus' mighty name. Amen.
Bayang magiliw, perlas ng silanganan, alab ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, duyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulubig, di ka masisihil, sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mong bughaw. May nilagang tula at awit sa pagkayang minamahal. Ang kislap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagdidingding. Ang bituin at araw niya kailan pang ay di magdidilim. Lupa ng araw ng buwan at itwag sina, buhay langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya ng pagmay mga api, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
To begin, I'd like to take this moment to acknowledge the presence of our PSA officials and distinguished guests. First on the list, we have the Deputy National Statistician of the Philippine Statistics Authority, DNS de Vinagracia L. Del Prado. A round of applause, please. Assistant National Statistician of the Economic Sector Statistics Service, ANS Rachel C. Laksa. Regional Director of PSA NCR, we have RD Pasiano Dizon. Director of the National Building Code Development Office of the Department of Public Works and Highways. Ladies and gentlemen, Attorney John Alexander S. Belderol. Bank Officer 5 of Expectation Survey and Leading Indicators Group of the Department of Economic Statistics from the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. Ladies and gentlemen, Ma'am Willa Boots Tolo. Assistant Manager, Strategy and Business Development, Republic Cement. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Marion Carlo R. Cruz. Also, we have our friends and officials from the PSA NCR. May I request our officials from NCR, please, to please stand for you to be recognized. Good morning. We also have our participants from the city of Valenzuela. Also participants from DPWH. Good morning. And I'll make sure, baka may ma-miss ako. Okay, so lahat po, ito, sorry. Okay, from Caloocan, City of Caloocan. Good morning, ma'am. We also have our friends from Las Piñas, or City of Las Piñas. Good morning. From the City of Makati. We also have from Malabon. Pasig. Good morning. We also have from Mandaluyong. Good morning po. From Muntinlupa. San Juan. Ito, medyo malayo to. From Quezon City. Good morning, ma'am. And from Navotas. Okay, so good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Sana wala po akong may na-miss. So, to deliver her welcome remarks, ladies and gentlemen, let's all welcome the Deputy National Statistician of the Sectoral Statistics Office. Ladies and gentlemen, let's all welcome DNS de Vinagracia L. Del Prado. A round of applause, please.
To our keynote speaker, Attorney John Alexander Belderol, the Executive Director of the National Building Code Development Office of the Department of Public Works and Highways, our discussants, Ms. Willia Boots Tolo, Bank Officer 5 of the Department of Economic Statistics of the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, and Mr. Marion Carlo Cruz, Assistant Manager of Strategy and Business Development of the Republic Cement. To our officials from the Philippine Statistics Authority, we have here Assistant National Statistician Rachel Laksa of the Economic Sector Statistics Service, the Regional Director of Regional Statistical Services Office of the National Capital Region, Director R.D. Pasiano Dizon na nagtatago doon, ayaw sumama dito. To the local building officials who are the sources of the construction statistics that we are compiling, distinguished guests from various government and private agencies. I heard that we have also guests from NEDA and PWH and other agencies. My colleagues from PSA, a pleasant morning to all. So today, the Philippine Statistics Authority is making another milestone as it conducts the first ever National Data Dissemination Forum on Construction Statistics from approved building permits. The compilation of construction statistics from approved building permits started very early as 1977, by the then National Census and Statistics Office. I don't know if you have heard this office before, but later this was renamed to National Statistics Office. Yun siguro baka familiar sa inyo. But this NSO is now part of the Philippine Statistics Authority. So despite that long history of compiling construction statistics from approved building permits, we have not yet done a dissemination forum for these statistics. So our usual practice of disseminating is just by posting our special release and statistical tables on the PSA website. So I'm happy to see you all to join us in conducting this momentous event, the first ever National Data Dissemination Forum on construction statistics from approved building permits. The construction industry is one of the drivers of economic growth. As we reported through our quarterly press conference, the construction industry was the third contributor to economic progress in the country in the third quarter of 2024, with a share of 7.2% at constant 2018 prices. In 2023, it tracked forth with the same share of 7.2%. The construction industry not only spurs economic growth, but also plays a crucial role in infrastructure development and job creation. Hence, it's very important to measure and monitor its progress. The construction statistics from approved building permits is compiled by the PSA based on the information from approved building permits issued by the local building officials. So the information that we get from these administrative records generate data from national level to down to city, municipal, city municipality level. And the main data that we generate are number of constructions, total floor area. We also have types of construction, value of construction, and even the average cost of instruction. So these are very important indicators to measure economic growth of the country in terms of this industry. So we would like to continuously improve our data on construction statistics from approved building permits by increasing the coverage of documents received from the LBOs, our partners for this activity. So we are happy that we now have the joint memorandum circular on the collection of approved building permits involving the three agencies, the DILG, the DPWH, and PSA, is now signed by all agencies in November this year. So the agreements in the JMC, I'm sure, will enhance collection and improve further our construction statistics. Today's event provides a wonderful opportunity for us to connect, share insights, and collaborate with peers from various fields. So our latest data on construction statistics, as well as historical data for a certain period, will be presented to us later by our resource persons from the PSA. We are also fortunate to have with us esteemed speakers who will share their insights on this sector of economy. I'm sure those views will give us enlightenment and a better understanding on the story behind those numbers that will be presented later. So at this point, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to our keynote speaker, Attorney Jan Alexander Beldirol, to our discussants, Vilia Tolo, and Sir Mario Carlo Cruz, for sharing your expertise and insights. To the LBOs for your unwavering support to PSA through the provision of copies of approved building permits. Without these documents, of course, the PSA will not be able to generate statistics, construction statistics from these from approved building permits. And to everyone, thank you for sharing your precious time with us today. So I would like to encourage all of you to engage actively in this forum so we can foster a meaningful and productive exchange of ideas. Thank you and good morning again.
Okay, thank you very much, DNS Grace, for that warm welcome. Before we proceed, we would like to acknowledge the presence of our participants from the city of Parañaque. Good morning. And now, may I invite on stage to introduce our keynote speaker, Ladies and gentlemen, ANS Rachel C. Laksa. A round of applause.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is a distinct privilege to introduce to you our esteemed keynote speaker, Attorney John Alexander S. Belderol. Earlier, ay hindi ko alam kung ano itatawag ko sa kanya, attorney or engineer or executive director dahil napakahaba ng kanyang portfolio. He is an accomplished civil engineer, attorney at law, and public servant with a professional journey marked with excellence and dedication to service. Attorney Belderol is an important figure in the field of construction. Currently, he is serving as the Executive Director of the National Building Code Development Office of the Department of Public Works and Highways, or DPWH. In this capacity, he plays critical role in shaping policies and ensuring the safe and efficient implementation of building standards across the nation. With a dual background in civil engineering and law, he has consistently demonstrated expertise in infrastructure development, government procurement, and legal frameworks. Notably, he placed fourth in the Civil Service Professional Exam, earned his civil engineering license, and secured the 12th spot in the Philippine Bar Examination, a testament to his exceptional intellectual rigor and determination. Beyond his professional achievements, Attorney Belderol is an active member of several esteemed organizations, including the Philippine Institute of Civil Engineers, the Integrated Bar of the Philippines, and the Road Engineering Association of the Philippines. He is also a proud member of the 10th Regional Community Defense Group, Army Reserve Command of the Philippine Army. Our speaker is also a respected lecturer and presenter, having shared his knowledge on topics such as road right-of-way, acquisition, government procurement, and the Green Building Code in collaboration with government agencies and private entities. His work reflects a deep commitment to advancing sustainable development and public infrastructure. This morning, Attorney Belderol will share his insights on construction statistics, drawing from his extensive experience and unique interdisciplinary perspective. Please join me in welcoming our keynote speaker, Attorney John Alexander S. Belderol.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for that introduction, Ma'am Rachel. No? So, actually, it brings back memories. The last time I was on this site, the building was still under construction. No? So, I'm so happy to be able to be here and for the invitation that you've extended to us. We're really, really very grateful. No? Yung staff ko nandyan. So, this is also a first for them. So, actually, this is a very great activity. I've heard this is the first time that we're going to be having this. No, so a very important activity. Kudos to PSA, and I guess I have to deliver the keynote address. Actually, I'm going to be delivering the secretary's keynote address on this activity. So quote unquote, no, on this. So this is the statement. I've interjected some of my thoughts here. And I hope you appreciate yung message of support po namin. So, on behalf of the Department of Public Works and Highways, we would like to extend our salutations to the following. To our distinguished colleagues in the Philippine Statistics Authority, led by Undersecretary Claire Denise S. Mapa, PhD, National Statistician and Civil Registrar General, and here with us now, Assistant Secretary Divina Gracia L. Del Prado, PhD, Deputy National Statistician of the Sectoral Statistics Office and all the officers and employees of the PSA. We commend and applaud your groundbreaking efforts in formulating, developing, and adopting initiatives in the collection and dissemination of national data and statistics, particularly for construction statistics, no, in this endeavor. To our colleagues in the Department of the Interior and local governments, in particular, Secretary Juanito Victor, John Vic Remulla, and of course the officials and employees of the ALG who have been part of this endeavor. We extend our deepest gratitude in ensuring peace and order, public safety and security, and upholding excellence in local governance, as well as enabling resilient and inclusive communities. I've seen a lot of our colleagues here from the building official sector. So this one is for the building officials nationwide. We also acknowledge your invaluable contributions in ensuring the preservation, the accuracy and accessibility of construction data at the grassroots or local level. Worth emulating are your constant, steadfast, and unwavering commitment to a more judicious implementation of the law, using the available records in your office to great effect in improving the quality of public transactions and the stakeholder experience. To all our partner agencies who have been with us in this endeavor, of which there are many, we give our unreserved praise for your support and contributions in expanding the reach and coverage of our monitoring functions, as well as the ready availability of important construction information. We pray that our collaboration on related activities for the common benefit of our stakeholders will set a new standard for our inclusive and responsive governance. And to all our distinguished guests as well as our private stakeholders, we wish to continue our productive service to you as the government's partners in national progress and the prime movers of our nation's economy. Today, we reflect not just on the growth of our infrastructure, but on the power of data, on how statistics, particularly in construction, provide us with the insights needed to navigate the path towards a more prosperous, resilient, and sustainable Philippines. In the rapidly evolving world of construction, the need for accurate, timely, and comprehensive data has never been more crucial. Construction statistics, particularly those drawn from approved building permits and certificates of occupancies, serve as the bedrock upon which we can build informed decisions in building regulations. These statistics are much more than numbers. They actually represent the very progress of our nation. So we make time and take the time to recognize and appreciate the invaluable contributions of the PSA, the DALG, the local governments, and our partner agencies, as well as our private stakeholders, as agents of national development and progress. In the field of data collection and dissemination, most especially those concerning public and private buildings and structures, this is a milestone that serves as a springboard for greater transparency and better collaboration in the field of data collection and use for the construction sector. With this activity, appropriately themed Building Smarter, Shaping Construction Landscape, we participate in the launching of the very first National Data Dissemination Forum on construction statistics from approved building permits and of course certificates of occupancies and other activities. And in connection with this event, we must emphasize with our usual candor that data collected, specifically those from approved building permits, is one of the most visible signs of progress, accessible to an ever-increasing number of public and private stakeholders. In the coming years, as we strive to build smarter, statistics will serve as our compass, guiding us to make decisions that are not only informed by the present, but also anticipate the needs of tomorrow. As we look ahead, let us continue to strengthen our collaboration between the national government, local government units, and key stakeholders in the construction industry. We must remain committed to enhancing our data collection processes, ensuring that statistics are timely, accurate, and reflective of the diverse needs of our communities. The challenges we face in building a smarter, more sustainable Philippines require all hands on deck, whether it is in the form of accurate building permits, innovative infrastructure projects, or collaboration between different sectors of society. Together, we can shape the future we envision, one that is grounded in smart, data-driven decisions that ensure the prosperity and well-being of every Filipino. From the Department of Public Works and Highways, we thank you and more power to the government service.
Okay, thank you very much, Attorney John Alexander S. Belderol. And to award the certificate of appreciation to our keynote speaker, may I request DNS de Benagracia del Prado, ANS Rachel Laxa, and the Regional Director Paciano Dizon. Okay, we have a plaque of recognition po pala. So, Republic of the Philippines, Philippine Statistics Authority. This plaque of recognition is hereby awarded to Attorney John Alexander S. Belderol in grateful recognition for being the keynote speaker for this event. Okay, thank you very much. And before we proceed, we would like to acknowledge the presence of our participants from the city of Taguig. We also have from the city of, from Pateros. Okay, good morning and thank you for coming. And now, we invite you to learn more about construction statistics from approved building permits through an audio-visual presentation. This will give us valuable insights, background, and its significance. So let's watch this.
The Philippine Statistics Authority, PSA, serves as the central statistical authority of the government on primary data collection, which includes the consolidation of selected administrative recording systems. Construction statistics from approved building permits is one of the data generated by PSA based on administrative records. It is compiled based on the information from the approved building permits issued by the local building officials or LBOs of the local government units. The collection of construction data through approved building permits officially began in 1977. It was initiated after an informal agreement between the then National Census and Statistics Office or NCSO, now part of the Philippine Statistics Authority, and the then Ministry of Local Government and Community Development, now the Department of Interior and Local Government, which took place in 1976. The informal arrangements were formalized on July 11, 1979, through a Memorandum of Agreement between the NCSO and the then Ministry of Public Works, Transportation and Communication or MPWTC, now the Department of Public Works and Highways. This agreement outlined the responsibilities of both agencies, with the then NCSO tasked with the collection, processing, analysis, and dissemination of construction statistics. Meanwhile, the printing of building permit forms became the responsibility of the then MPWTC. In 1991, the implementation of the Local Government Code or RA number 7160 significantly impacted the collection of building permit data. The code devolved broader powers and responsibilities from the national government to the local government units or LGUs. A key turning point came in 1993 with the issuance of a joint memorandum circular by the DLG and DPWH. Municipal and city engineers were tasked with overseeing the National Building Code's implementation and generating construction statistics from approved building permits in their areas. In 2005, the DPWH's National Building Code Development Office or NBCDO issued a circular requiring all LBOs to implement the revised IRR of the National Building Code, introducing a new building permit form for LGUs to adopt. In 2009, legal challenges to the revised IRR led the DPWH to instruct LBOs to return to using the old building permit forms, which remain in use today in coordination with the PSA for data collection. The primary objective of compiling construction statistics from approved building permits is to provide timely data on building activities at the city and municipality levels, including the number, type, floor area, value, and average cost of construction. It helps monitor construction trends, supports economic analysis, and guides both local and national policy decisions. The data is used for analyzing present economic conditions and past developments. It helps track the growth of residential and non-residential constructions, providing a snapshot of regional development and economic activity. Second, it aids in forecasting future trends of construction. By examining current building activities, experts can predict where future construction and investments will occur, ensuring resources are allocated efficiently. Lastly, construction statistics provide important information that helps government make informed decisions. Policymakers rely on this data to guide urban planning, infrastructure projects, and zoning laws, promoting sustainable growth. The data collected has limitations. It only includes projects that have received approval through building permits during the reference period. Additionally, government horizontal projects like roads, bridges, and sewerage systems are excluded in the generation of construction statistics. Similarly, minor constructions and repairs that don't need permits are also excluded from the data. The construction statistics from approved building permits are mainly used by government agencies, including the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas and the National Economic and Development Authority. These statistics are also utilized by private sectors, as well as researchers, and the general public who rely on this data for economic analysis and market research. The compilation of construction statistics from approved building permits is authorized by Republic Act No. 10625 known as the Philippine Statistical Act of 2013, which was approved by law on September 12, 2013. Section 27 of RA No. 10625 enforces the confidentiality of information. Another key legal instrument is the Joint Memorandum Circular of 1993 issued by the DLG and DPWH. This JMC specifically outlined the duties of municipal and city engineers, entrusting them with the responsibility to oversee the implementation of the National Building Code and to contribute to the generation of construction statistics from approved building permits. In 2024, the DPWH, DLG, and PSA successfully finalized and signed a joint memorandum circular. The purpose of this JMC is to prescribe guidelines in the collection of Unified Application Form or UAF for building permits and certificates of completion from the LBOs. The PSA, through this JMC, shall collect the UAF and photocopy of the certificates of completion from the LBOs within the first 5 working days after each reference month through its PSOs, subject to applicable rules on confidentiality under relevant laws, rules, and regulations. Construction statistics from approved building permits covers both residential and non-residential buildings. Residential buildings include single houses, duplexes, apartments, and townhouses, while non-residential buildings cover commercial, industrial, institutional, and agricultural structures. Included also are the non-building structures such as billboards, parks, monuments, sidewalks, and other street furniture and landscapes. The compilation of construction statistics follows three key classification systems: the 1977 National Building Code of the Philippines, or Presidential Decree No. 1096, provides the legal framework for classifying buildings based on their occupancy, such as residential, commercial, industrial, institutional, agricultural, and non-building structures. The code ensures public safety, health, and welfare by regulating construction standards, which are enforced by local building officials. The Philippine Standard Geographic Classification, PSGC, is the official system used to classify regions, provinces, cities, municipalities and HUCs, and barangays. This system ensures consistency across government agencies when handling geographic data. The 2019 updates to the 2009 Philippine Standard Industrial Classification or PHYSIC align Philippine industry classifications with international standards, enabling the government to track industrial trends and economic growth in sectors like real estate, manufacturing, and services. The general process flow in compiling statistics from approved building permits starts with the collection of documents from LBOs, processing, and finally the dissemination of data. Manual processing involves editing and coding of entries in the building permit documents based on the guidelines in the Operations and Processing Manual. Machine processing involves data entry, validation, and consistency checks using the building permit computer system. Dissemination of results, preliminary construction statistics are made available to the public through monthly special releases, infographics, and statistical tables. These reports are posted on the PSA website 50 days after the reference month, ensuring timely access to important construction data. For more details and information, please visit these links. Thank you.
Okay, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Understanding the background is crucial as we now proceed to the presentation of the construction statistics or the result of the construction statistics from approved building permits. And to present the national results, let's all welcome the Chief Statistical Specialist of the Industry Statistics Division of the Philippine Statistics Authority. Let's all welcome Mr. John Paul C. Sakop. A round of applause, please.
Hello, hello. Hello. To our officials, Assistant Secretary Divina Gracia L. Del Prado, Deputy National Statistician of the Sectoral Statistics Office of the PSA, Assistant National Statistician Rachel C. Laksa of the Economic Sector Statistics Service of the PSA, Regional Director Pasiano B. Dizon of the Regional Statistical Services Office, National Capital Region, to our distinguished guests, Attorney John Alexander S. Belderol, Executive Director of the National Building Code Development Office of the Department of Public Works and Highways, Ms. Willa Boots J. Tolo, Bank Officer 5 of the Expectations Survey and Leading Indicators Group of the Department of Economic Statistics of the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, and Mr. Marion Carlo R. Cruz, Assistant Manager of the Strategy and Business Development of Republic Cement, our valued partners in the LBOs and LGUs, colleagues from the government and from PSA, good morning. I will be presenting the construction statistics based from approved building permits at the national level for the year 2023 and the latest data from January to September 2024. The presentation will also feature the data in 2019-2020 when we experienced the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic and the 2021 to 2022 results where the recovery of the economy started. Allow me to reiterate the scope and coverage of the construction statistics from approved building permit. These are the following: residential buildings, non-residential buildings, addition to existing structures, alteration or repair to existing structures, and other constructions, which include demolition, street furniture, landscaping, and signboards. Further, residential building consists of the following: single houses, duplex houses, apartments, townhouses, among others. Moreover, non-residential buildings include the following: commercial buildings, industrial buildings, institutional buildings, and agricultural buildings, among others. I will present the results following this outline. First, data on the number of constructions, followed by value of constructions, total floor area, and lastly, the average cost of construction. These indicator will present from 2019 to 2023 and the latest data from January to September 2024. Data presented are disaggregated by type of construction and region. Now, I will proceed with the result of the 2023 construction statistics from approved building permits at the national level. The number of constructions from approved building permits in 2023 reached 1,600,536. This is lower by 3.8% from the 1,174,203 constructions recorded in 2022. In 2020, there was a sharp decline in the number of constructions due to the imposed restrictions during the pandemic. Construction activities were not allowed during the onset of lockdowns in 2022. However, a notable increase was observed in the number of construction in 2021 and was followed by a slight increment in 2022. Even with the increases in 2021 and 2022, the number of constructions before pandemic was not yet achieved. By type of construction, residential buildings posted the highest number of construction of 110,532, or two-thirds of the total constructions in 2023. Further, residential buildings consistently contribute the highest number of constructions for the past 5 years. Across regions, Calabarzon recorded the highest number of construction at 41,164, or almost one-fourth of the total constructions in 2023. Central Luzon ranked second with 19,156 constructions, while Central Visayas followed with 19,084 construction. Both regions contributed 11.4% to the total number of constructions in 2023. The thematic map shows the degree of construction activities by region. The darkest shade denotes the region with the highest number of construction, while the lightest shade pertains to the region with the least number of constructions. That's it for the number of construction. Now, I will present the statistics in terms of value of constructions. The total value of construction in 2023 amounted to 468 billion, which indicates an increase of 5.7% from the 442.85 billion value of constructions recorded in 2022. From 2021 to 2023, a steady increase can be seen in the value of constructions after the steep drop in 2020 due to the pandemic. Despite the consistent increase from 2021 to 2023, the value of construction is still low. The pre-pandemic construction value of 494.25 billion posted in 2019. By type of construction, non-residential buildings valued at 219.56 billion, or 46.9% of the total, posted the highest value of construction in 2023. The same observation can be noted in 2019. On the other hand, residential buildings had the highest number of highest construction value from 2020 to 2022. Across regions, Calabarzon recorded the highest value of construction at 106.02 billion, or more than one-fifth of the total construction value in 2023. National Capital Region had the second highest value of construction with 75.05 billion, or 16.0% of the total, despite not being in the top 3 regions in terms of number of construction. It was followed by Central Luzon with 64.47 billion, or 13.8% of the total. That's it for the value of construction. Now, I will discuss the statistics in terms of the total floor area of construction. The total floor area of constructions in 2023 stood at 39.54 million square meters. This was 6.1% higher than the 37.28 million square meters total floor area posted in 2022. Total floor area exclude alteration and repair, other non-residential such as facade, helipad, niche, water tank, etc., and other construction which include demolition, street furniture, landscaping, and signboard, since there is no reported floor area for these type of constructions. Similar with the value of construction, a stable increase can be observed in the total floor area of constructions from 2021 to 2023, after the abrupt decline in 2020 due to the imposed restrictions during the pandemic. However, the total floor area of constructions in 2023 is not yet on par with the pre-pandemic level. By type of construction, non-residential buildings posted the highest total area in 2023 at 21.76 million square meters, or more than half of the total. The same observation can also be noted in 2019. On the other hand, residential buildings had the highest total floor area from 2020 to 2022. The same trend was observed in the value of construction. The top 3 regions in terms of value of construction are also the leading 3 regions in terms of total floor area. Calabarzon had the highest total floor area of 9.33 million square meters, or more than one-fifth of the total floor area in 2023. Followed by National Capital Region at 4.85 million square meters, or 12.3% of the total. Central Luzon at 4.55 million square meters, or 11.5% of the total. That's it for the total floor area of construction. Now I will present the statistics in terms of the average cost of construction. The average cost of constructions in 2023 was recorded at 10,706.83 per square meter. This was 0.2% lower than the average cost of 10,732.71 pesos per square meter in 2022. The average cost of construction is derived from the value of constructions over the total floor area. Hence, it also excludes alteration and repair, other non-residential, and other constructions, since there is no reported floor area for these types of construction. The average cost increased in 2021 but is decreasing in 2022 and 2023. However, the 2023 average cost of constructions is lower than the pre-pandemic average cost. By type of construction, residential buildings posted the highest average of construction in 2023 at 11,625.47 pesos per square meter. Over the past 5 years, residential building steadily had the highest average cost of construction. Across regions, the Cordillera Administrative Region posted the highest average cost of construction of 14,363.72 pesos per square meter. Zamboanga Peninsula followed with 13,033.31 pesos per square meter, while Bicol Region placed third with 12,900.80 pesos per square meter. Further, the average cost of these three regions are higher than the national average. That's it for the 2023 construction statistics from approved building permits at the national level. Now, I will present the latest statistics from January to September 2024. The number of constructions from approved building permits from January to September 2024 reached 128,982. This is lower by 0.6% from the number of construction recorded in the same period in 2023. The highest number of constructions from January to September 2024 was recorded in July with 15,490 constructions. The leading three regions in terms of number of constructions in 2023 retained their position for the period January to September 2024. Calabarzon still posted the highest number of constructions from January to September 2024 at 30,649 or 23.8% of the total. This was followed by Central Luzon with 16,627 constructions or 12.9%, and Central Visayas with 14,303 construction or 11.1% of the total. Now, I will discuss the January to September 2024 statistics in terms of value of constructions. The total value of construction from January to September 2024 amounted to 375.75 billion, which indicates an increase of 7.9% from the total value of constructions posted in the same period in 2023. By month, the highest value of construction was registered in August 2024 with 49.31 billion. The top three regions in terms of value of constructions in 2023 maintained their ranks for the period January to September 2024. Calabarzon recorded the highest construction value of 87.59 billion or more than one-fifth of the total. National Capital Region ranked second with 65.82 billion or 17.5% of the total. Central Luzon came third with 55.12 billion or 14.7% of the total. Now, I will present the January to September 2024 statistics in terms of total floor area of constructions. Again, the total floor area excludes alteration and repair, other residential, and other construction since there is no reported floor area for these types of construction. The total floor area of constructions from January to September 2024 stood at 29.05 million square meters, which was lower by 1.4% from the total floor area recorded in the same period in 2023. The highest total floor area at 3.76 million square meters was posted in February 2024. The leading three regions in terms of total floor area in 2023 are also the top three regions for the period January to September 2024, though with a shift in the second and third places. Calabarzon posted the highest total floor area at 6.21 million square meters or 21.4% of the total. Central Luzon came second with 4.64 million square meters or 16.0% of the total. The National Capital Region ranked third during the period with 3.47 million square meters or 11.9% of the total. Now, I will discuss the January to September 2024 statistics in terms of average cost of construction. The average cost of construction also exclude alteration, repair, other non-residential, and other construction. The average cost of construction from January to September 2024 was recorded at 11,571.98 pesos per square meter. This was 8.1% higher than the average cost posted in the same period in 2023. The highest average cost of construction was registered in July at 12,417.34 pesos per square meter. Across regions, the National Capital Region recorded the highest average cost of 14,999.61 pesos per square meter from January to September 2024. This was followed by Bicol Region with 13,716.69 pesos per square meter and Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Masli, Mindanao with 13,689 pesos per square meter. To sum it up, in 2023, the number of constructions in the country from approved building permits reached 167,536, registering an annual decline of 3.8% from the number recorded in 2022. The value of constructions amounted to 648 billion, indicating an annual increase of 5.7% from the value posted in 2022. The total floor area was estimated at 39.54 million square meters, which indicates an annual expansion of 6.1% from the total floor area registered in 2022. The average cost of construction was at 10,706.83 pesos per square meter, which indicates an annual decrease of 0.2% from the average cost in 2022. From January to September 2024, the number of construction reached 128,982, recording an annual decline of 0.6% from the number recorded in same period in 2023. The total value of constructions amounted to 375.75 billion pesos, indicating an annual increase of 7.9% from the value posted in the same period in 2023. The total floor area was estimated at 29.05 million square meters, which indicates an annual decline of 1.4% from the total floor area registered in the same period in 2023. The average cost of construction was at 11,571.98 per square meters, which registers an annual increase of 8.1% from the average cost in the same period in 2023. This ends my presentation of construction statistics from approved building permits at the national level. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, thank you very much, Sir John Paul Sakop. And now to present the results for the National Capital Region, let's all welcome Mr. Jing C. Rocabo, Chief Statistical Specialist of the Statistical Operations and Coordination Division of PSA NCR. A round of applause, please.
Good morning, everyone. Wait lang natin yung technical na mag-show na. So, as we continue, I will be presenting the construction statistics based on approved building permits for the National Capital Region, covering the periods 2023 and January to September 2024. Similar with the discussion earlier, The presentation will feature the data in 2019, 2020, when we experienced the impact of COVID-19 pandemic, and 2021 to 2022 results where the recovery of the economy started. I will present the result following the same outline as the national level. First, data on the number of construction, followed by the value of constructions, total floor area, and lastly, average cost of construction. The data presented are disaggregated by type of construction and highly urbanized city and the municipality of Pateros. Now I will proceed with the results of the 2023 construction statistics from approved building permits for the National Capital Region. The number of constructions from approved building permits in 2023 for the National Capital Region reached 10,284. This is lower by 10.8% from the 11,535 constructions recorded in 2022. In addition, NCR contributed 6.1% to the total number of constructions in the country in 2023. It can be observed that the performance of construction activities in NCR mirrors that of the national level as presented earlier. In 2020, there was a sharp decline in the number of constructions due to the imposed restrictions during the pandemic. Construction activities were not allowed during the onset of the lockdowns in 2020, and the lockdown in NCR started mid-March of that year. However, notable increase were observed in the number of constructions in 2021 and 2022. Despite these increases, the number of constructions did not yet reach the pre-pandemic level, that is in 2019. By type of constructions, residential building in NCR posted the highest number of constructions at 4,762, or almost half of the total constructions in 2023. Further, residential buildings consistently contributed the highest number of constructions for the past 5 years. Moreover, alteration or repair to the existing structures at the second highest number of constructions in NCR for the past 5 years, except in 2021. Across cities and municipalities in NCR, the city of Valenzuela recorded the highest number of constructions at 1,455, or 14.1% of the total constructions in 2023. The city of Makati ranked second with 1,398, or 13.6% of the total. While the city of Parañaque, kanina kasabay ko yung taga Parañaque, na LBO ng Parañaque, followed with the 1,093 constructions of 10.6% of the total in NCR. The thematic map shows the degree of construction activities by the highly urbanized city or municipality. The darkest shade denotes the HUC with the highest number of constructions, while the lightest shades pertains to the HUC with the least number of construction. Now I will present the statistics in terms of value of constructions. The total value of constructions in NCR amounted to 75.5 billion pesos, which indicate a decrease of 6.3% from the 80.9 billion pesos total value of constructions recorded in 2022. Moreover, NCR was the second highest contributor to the country's total value of constructions in 2023 with 16.0% share. In 2021, the value of construction recovered from the steep drop in 2020 due to the pandemic. However, the increase was not sustained starting 2022. The value of constructions in 2023 is still below the pre-pandemic construction value of 158.6 6.43 billion pesos posted in 2019. By type of construction, residential buildings in NCR valued at 30.32 billion pesos, or 2/5 of the total posted highest value of constructions in 2023. Further, residential buildings has the highest constructions value in NCR for the past 5 years. Unlike the number of constructions, non-residential buildings had been the consistent second highest contributor to the NCR's total value of construction for the past 5 years. Across the city's municipality in NCR, the city of Parañaque recorded the highest value of constructions at 12.66 billion, or 16.9% of the total constructions value in 2023. The city of Makati came in second with 11.1 billion pesos, or 14.7% of the total. It was followed by the city of Taguig with 9.6 billion, or 12.8% of the total. Despite not being in the three leading highly urbanized cities in terms of number of constructions. Now I will discuss the statistics in terms of the total floor area of constructions. The total floor area of constructions in NCR in 2023 stood at 4.85 million square meters. This was 3.4% lower than the 5.02 million square meters total floor area posted in 2022. In addition, NCR was the second highest contributor to the country's total floor area of constructions in 2023 with 12.3% share. Total floor area exclude alteration and repair and non-residential such as facades, helipad, niche water tank, and other constructions as mentioned earlier by Sir GP. This includes, which is also yung mga excluded by is demolition, street furnitures, landscaping, and signboards, since there is no floor area for this type of constructions. Similar with the value of construction, the total floor area recovered in 2021 after the sharp decline in 2020, but there was a decrease starting 2022, resulting to a total floor area in 2023 lower than that in 2020. By type of construction, residential buildings in NCR posted the highest total floor area in 2023 at 2.45 million square meters, or half of the total. Further, residential buildings has the highest total floor area for the past 5 years, except in 2020. Across the cities and municipality in NCR, the city of Makati recorded the highest total floor area at 830.28 thousand square meters, or 7.1% of the total floor area in 2023. It was followed by the city of Pasig at 678.74 thousand square meters, or 14.0% of the total. The city of Parañaque placed third at 613.2 thousand square meters, or 12.6% of the total. Now I will present the statistics in terms of the average cost of construction. The average cost of constructions in NCR in 2023 was recorded at 12,430.74 per square meter. This was 5.9% lower than the average cost of 13,210.86 per square meter in 2022. The average cost of constructions also exclude alteration and repair and other non-residential and other constructions, since there is no reported floor area for this type of constructions. Following the trend of the value and total floor area of constructions, there was an increase in 2021 after the 2020 decline due to the pandemic. However, The increase was not maintained starting 2022. By type of construction, non-residential buildings in NCR posted the highest average cost of construction in 2023 at 12,447.09 pesos per square meter. It is higher by a small margin from residential buildings, which had the highest average cost of constructions in NCR from 2019 to 2022. Across the cities and municipality in NCR, the city of Las Piñas posted the highest average cost of constructions at 18,904.95 pesos per square meter. The city of Muntinlupa followed with 18,557.67 pesos per square meter, while the city of Taguig placed third with 17,253.80 per square meter. Further, the average cost of these three HUCs are higher than the NCR average cost of construction. That's it for the 2023 construction statistics from approved building permits for the NCR. Now I will proceed to present the latest statistics from January to September 2024. The number of constructions from approved building permits in NCR from January to September 2024 reached 8,376. This is higher by 5.6% from the number of constructions recorded in the same period in 2023. In addition, the region shared 6.5% to the country's total number of construction from January to September 2024. Similar with the national result, the highest number of constructions in NCR from January to September was recorded in July with 1,078 constructions. Across the cities and municipality in NCR, the city of Valenzuela posted the highest number of construction from January to September 2024 at 1,114 or 13.3% of the total. This was followed by the city of Makati with 1,030 constructions or 12.3% of the total. Lastly, the city of Caloocan ranked third with 873 constructions or 10.4% of the total. The top two cities had the same rankings in terms of number of constructions in 2020. Now I will discuss the January to September 2024 statistics in terms of value of constructions. The total value of constructions in NCR from January to September 2024 amounted to 65.82 billion pesos, which indicate a decrease of 4.4% from the total value of constructions posted in the same period in 2023. Moreover, similar in 2023, the NCR was the second highest contributor to the country's total constructions value from January to September with 17.5% share. The highest value of constructions was registered in August 2024 with 10.46 billion pesos, which was the same as the national result during the same period. Across cities and municipalities in NCR, the city of Pasig recorded the highest construction value at 9.65 billion or 14.7% of the total. The city of Taguig ranked second with 8.94 billion or 13.6%, while Quezon City followed with 6.67 billion pesos or 10.1% of the total. Now I'll present the January to September statistics in terms of total floor area of constructions. Again, total floor area exclude alteration and repair, other non-residential, and other constructions since there is no reported floor area for this type of construction. The total floor area of constructions in NCR from January to September 2024 stood at 3.47 million square meters, which was higher by 14.1% from the total floor area recorded in the same period in 2023. In addition, NCR was the third highest contributor to the country's total floor area from January to September 2024 with 11.9% share. Similar with the national results, the highest total floor area at 0.52 million square meters was posted in February 2024. Across the cities and municipality in NCR, the city of Pasig posted the highest total floor area at 529.88 thousand square meters or 15.3% of the total. The city of Manila came in second with 492.67 thousand square meters or 14.2%. The city of Taguig ranked third during the period with 475.4 thousand square meters or 13.7% share of the total. Now I will discuss the January to September 2024 statistics in terms of average cost of constructions. The average cost of constructions also exclude alteration and repair and other non-residential and other constructions. The average cost of constructions in NCR from January to September 2024 was recorded at 14,999.61 pesos per square meter. This was 14.9% higher than the average cost posted in the same period in 2023. Also, the region posted the highest average cost of construction nationwide during the period. Similar with the national result, the highest average cost of constructions of 18,009.77 pesos per square meter was registered in August 2024. Across the cities and municipality in NCR, Quezon City recorded the highest average cost of construction at 20,597.14 pesos per square meter. This was followed by the city of Las Piñas with 20,169.52 pesos per square meter and the city of San Juan with 19,508.01 per square meter. Okay, to sum it up, in 2023, the number of constructions from approved building permits in NCR reached 10,284, which indicates an annual decline of 10.8% from the number recorded in 2022. The total value of constructions in NCR amounted to 75.05 billion pesos, indicating an annual decrease of 6.3% from the value posted in 2022. The total floor area in NCR was estimated at 4.85 million square meters, which indicate an annual decline of 3.4% from the total floor area registered in 2022. Kita nyo, puro red. Parang pababa. The average cost of construction in NCR was 12,433.68 per square meter. It recorded an annual decrease of 6.0% from the average cost in 2022. From January to September 2024, kita nyo, meron ng green. The number of construction in NCR reached 8,376, registering an annual increase of 5.6% from the number recorded in same period in 2023. The total value of constructions in NCR amounted to 65.82 billion pesos, indicating an annual decline of 4.4% from the value posted in the same period in 2023. Pero siya na lang ang red. The total floor area in NCR was estimated at 3.47 million square meters, which indicate an annual expansion of 14.1% from the total floor area registered in the same period in 2023. The average cost of construction in NCR was at 14,999.61, nearly 15,000 per square meter. It recorded an annual increase of 14.9% from the average cost in the same period in 2023. Okay, this ends my presentation for the result of the construction statistics from approved building permits for the National Capital Region. In behalf of the NCR CSS na laging nangungulit sa mga local building officials, I would like to say thank you very much po sa lahat ng mga representative from the LBO here at the National Capital Region are present on site. And I hope continued po yung collaboration natin sa mga susunod pang mga collection namin ng construction statistics, yung building permits sa inyong opisina. Thank you and good morning everyone.
Okay, thank you very much, Sir Jing. And before we proceed to the next part of our program, let's have first an intermission number to be given to us by Miss Razel May C. Dizon. A round of applause, please.
Good morning po. Since Christmas is approaching, I'll be giving you a Christmas song po. Namamas ko po. Wait lang po, may technical issue. Ayan, since may inaayos pa po, pwede po muna tayo mag-CR break. Ayan. Ayun, marami palang mag-CR. Okay, okay na po. People making lists, buying special gifts, taking time to be kind to one and all. It is once a year when good friends are dear, and you wish you could give more than just presents on the store. Why don't you give love on Christmas Day? Oh, even the man who has everything would be so happy if you would bring give love on No greater gift is there a love. You can sing with me po. People you don't know smile and nod anywhere. There's an air of Christmas joy. It's at once a year when the world's sincere, and you like to find a way to show the things that a word can say. Why don't you give love on Christmas Day? Oh, even the man with a couple of stairs won't need to know it is one who'd care. Give love on Christmas Day. No greater gift is there a love. What the world needs is love. Yes, the world needs your love. Why don't you give love on Christmas Day? Every little child a senses needs would be the room for you to live this tree. Give love on Christmas Day. No greater gift is there a love. What the world needs is love. Yes, the world needs your love. Why don't you give love on Christmas Day? No greater gift is there a love. Give love on Christmas Day. Greater gift is there than love. Thank you so much po. Advance Merry Christmas.
Okay, thank you very much, Ma'am Razel. And now we are pleased to hear the insights from our esteemed discussants who are experts in their respective fields. Ladies and gentlemen, let's all welcome our first discussant this morning, Banco Officer 5 from the Department of Economic Statistics from the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. Ladies and gentlemen, let's all welcome Miss Willa Boots J. Tolo. A round of applause, please.
Gandang umaga po sa ating lahat. So before I begin my reaction, allow me first to extend my thanks, congratulations to the PSA for organizing this first ever National Data Dissemination Forum on Construction Statistics from Approved Building Permits. So again, I am Willa Tolo from the BSP Department of Economic Statistics, and I'm here today to share with you some insights on how we use data on approved building permits. So I'm part of the team in the Department of Economic Statistics that produces the data on residential real estate price index, or the REREP. So in this case, my reaction to the data will focus on how we validate the results from the REREPI using approved building permits. Next slide, please. So the next slide will show my outline. So first of all, I will give a brief background on the REREPI. So baka some of you may not be familiar with the REREPI yet. So, and next, I will be showing some graphs on the residential building permits of the PSA, and we will show this alongside BSP data. So we will show data on the number of residential real estate loans, or RREL, and we will also show trends in the REREPI. So that this is the housing price index of the BSP. Next, we will show the top 5 regions in terms of construction activity, as well as a correlation with the Philippine business cycle. So in the case of the BSP, we just measure the business cycle using non-agri GDP, or the gross value added in industry and service. And lastly, I will also make mention of other instances wherein the BSP may make use of data on approved building permits to measure real sector development. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. So just to give you an overview of the REREPI, it is a measure of the average change of housing. So average change of prices in housing units. So the housing units are consistent with those in the approved building permits. We also have single houses, duplex housing units, townhouses, and condominium units. So the REREPI is based on banks' data on actual loans granted to acquire new housing property. So this excludes bank loans for pre-owned or foreclosed property. So if you are interested to know more about the REREPI, you may visit the BSP website under the REREPI page in Media and Research Publications tab at www.bsp.gov.ph. Next slide, please. So for the following slides, I will be showing the comparison of trends between the PSA and the BSP data. So I will no longer be mentioning data kasi baka na-overload na kayo sa mga presentations kanina. So these will just be some overview trends. So on this first slide, we have the total number of residential building permits. So this is the PSA data that's shown as the orange line in your graph. And we graph it alongside the residential real estate loans data of the BSP, which is the blue line. So for this slide, and also you may mention that you may notice that the frequency is already quarterly. So we converted the monthly data of the approved building permits to quarterly to be consistent with the frequency of our data. So in general, we see that the approved residential building permits move 1 quarter ahead with residential real estate loans. So it has a moderate correlation of around 0.52. So this means that on the average, when building permits are approved in the current quarter, we see that residential real estate loans tend to increase in the next quarter. So a possible reason for this is that approved building permits is an indicator of future housing projects. So when you look at the bank loan data, you will see that around 50% are from the purchase of new condominium units and townhouses. So these are commonly built by developers. So as such, the construction of these new housing projects create a demand for these properties and in turn, property loans. Next slide, please. So in this slide, we show the comparison of growth rates from the total number of residential building permits and the bank loan growth. So here we see that the growth in the number of residential building permits move concurrently with the real RREL growth. So this means that the growth rate of the change in residential building permits, as they increase, we see that residential real estate loans also increases and vice versa. So it has a very strong positive correlation of around 0.76. So you may wonder why the levels have move a quarter, the levels of approved building permits move one quarter ahead, while the growth rates are concurrent. So growth rates are a measure of momentum and the current conditions. So in this case, they measure the developments in the real sector industry. So we can say that yung pace ng growth in the approved building permits and bank loan data, they move together because they are both influenced by the same market conditions. So for example, during periods of economic growth, more people are likely to build new homes and take out loans. So this cause the data on building permits and loans to rise together. Next slide, please. And lastly, we look into the comparison of growth rates in total residential building permits and the residential real estate index, or the REREPI. So when you take the growth rate of the housing price index, so this is a proxy for housing inflation. So there are two hypotheses when it comes to the relationship of approved building permits and property prices. So on one hand is the demand hypothesis, which states that a large number of building permits reflect positive expectations about future housing demand, which in turn would drive house prices upwards. So on the other hand is the supply hypothesis, which assumes that an increase in the approved building permits may be perceived as an indication of growing housing supply, resulting in a decline in house prices. So when we look at this graph, we see that the growth rates of the approved residential building permits tend to move in the opposite direction with the REREPI growth rate. So and it has a strong negative correlation of negative 0.72. So this means that the trends support the supply hypothesis, wherein an increase in the number of building permits may be seen as an increase in housing supply, thereby resulting in a decrease in housing prices. So in this graph, you may also notice that there is an uptick in the REREPI growth rate in Q2 2020, or during the onset of the pandemic, which is quite counterintuitive because, as you all know, the start of the pandemic was a period of uncertainty. But we see that the REREPI, in fact, recorded its highest growth rate at around 27.1%. So when we ask banks the reason why they were reporting relatively higher housing prices, so they said that majority of the transactions were from high value properties. So these are properties with around or above 100,000 pesos per square kilometer. So it makes sense, right, that yung mga kayang bumili ng properties, they are not affected of the pandemic, so they continued their purchases and their bank loans, while those that are like us, the average Filipino would think twice about purchasing or getting a bank loan during those uncertain times. So what happened was tumaas yung proportion ng high value properties, so this drove the index upwards. And also banks noted that there were also a rise in the prices of construction materials, labor costs, and other indirect costs, which drove the appraised value of properties. So on the next slide, please. So another observation that we find important in the approved building permits is that the top 5 regions with the highest approved residential building permits, so those are the graph in your right side, are consistent with those with the top 5 regions that has the highest number of residential real estate loans. So we are currently refining the methodology for the REREPI, which we plan to launch in the next year. So our new methodology allows us to have more granular indices. So kasi now we only have data in the NCR, AONCR, and of course Philippines. But our new methodology would allow us to have more granular data indices. So one of our proposals is to create a um, index for the rest of GMA. So this includes Cavite, Laguna, and Rizal, which are found in the Calabarzon region. So it has the highest approved residential building permits. And Bulacan, which is also found in Central Luzon. And interestingly, we are also planning to have a index for Metro Cebu, so which is part of Central Visayas. So they are in line with the results of the top 5 regions with the highest approved building permits. On the next slide, please. So we also have an internal report in the BSP. It's called the Business Cycle Analysis of the Philippines. So it's generally patterned after the um, composite leading economic index of the then National Statistical Coordination Board. So it was actually my thesis when I was in college many years ago. But but apparently the PSA stopped releasing the said data. So we have so the business cycle analysis have determines or identifies coincident and leading indicators. So coincident indicators are data that move alongside economic activity. So they predict turning points, while leading indicators are those that move ahead of economic activity. So they are able to forecast real GDP growth. So in this case, building permits is already an established leading indicator, but when we graph it alongside the non-agriculture GDP growth rate, which is the measure of Philippine business cycle, we see that it all actually moves alongside, or it is a coincident index with a very strong correlation of around 0.72. So this means that total number of the total number of building permits is a positive contributor to to the actual GDP growth rate. Next slide, please. In summary, these are the general uses of approved building permits in economic analysis. So one, it is an economic indicator. So approved building permit data serves as leading indicators, as I've mentioned, because they can predict investment shifts and used to monitor economic activity. Next, it can be used as a tool to monitor real estate industry trends. So although the real estate industry is not under the regulatory purview of the BSP, we view it as an important concern in the conduct of the BSP's monetary policy and financial supervision. This is because changes in real estate prices or asset prices can affect overall price levels and economic performance. Also, volatilities in real estate prices, often due to speculation or asset price bubbles, can lead to financial instability. So let me also add that while approved building permits is a helpful indicator in monitoring potential future supply in the real estate market, it should be used together with other property indicators such as the Collier's vacancy rate, construction starts, and the property prices data like the REPI for a more accurate picture of the real estate industry. So in ending, may I also add that the BSP has a report on the regional economic developments in the Philippines, or REDP, which provide key developments in the region. So it includes a discussion on the building approved building permits in the regions, which can be found on the BSP website under the media/reports tab. So that ends my presentation, my reaction to the data. And thank you for listening and hope you enjoy the rest of the day.
Okay, thank you very much, Ma'am Willa Boots J. Tolo. And now let's proceed to our second discussant, Assistant Manager of the Business and Strategy of the Republic Cement. Ladies and gentlemen, let's all welcome Mr. Marian Carlo R. Cruz. A round of applause, please.
Una po, magandang umaga sa lahat. Salamat po sa pag-imbita sa Republic Cement. At unang-una sa lahat, salamat po sa Philippine Statistical Authority sa paanyaya sa aming sa Republic Cement strategy and group to react in this. Also would like to thank Sir Attorney John for PWH, and then the building officials from various LGUs here in NCR. Allow me to introduce myself first, and what is Republic Cement. My job in Republic Cement is in developing or in providing reports about macroeconomic status of Philippines, and this in turn is reported to our investors, and also we want there is a hypothesis, there is a mantra in investment. We call it efficient market hypothesis. In that hypothesis, we say that an efficient market is a sum of all information na meron sa merkado. And I guess what I want to say is yung activities that we have in PSA, we see it as a good direction, positive direction, that we have more informed general public as we construction statistics of construction in value of it and total area. Going forward, I think the private sector will really benefit as we generate more information that is shareable to the public and in a way na madadigest at maiintindihan nila. Again, I want to introduce what is Republic Cement. So next slide, please. Republic Cement, we are a manufacturer of cement. Cement is a raw material in producing concrete. We use concrete in buildings, road, infrastructure, and other materials na ginagamit sa pag-construct. Have bahay, schools, you also have in flood controls and other materials. Now, Republic Cement is synonymous, I would say synonymous to nation building, especially here in Luzon. We have 5 integrated plants, and 4 of this is, we have 2 in Bulacan, and then 1 in, and another one in Batangas. We are also present in Mindanao. We have a grinding station. It still produces cement, but we get raw materials from our fully integrated lines located in either in Luzon or also from Mindanao. So our footprint is mostly here in Luzon. We supply 30% of the demand based on our estimate. Then for bulk cement, we are #1 supplier. That means we have our contractors, they have batching plants, we supply them. And then they in turn produce high strength concrete, very specific. Next slide. Okay, next. Siguro, what I would show would be the products what we have, just to use more of our company. Next slide. All right. Republic Cement, we have been here in the last few decades. As I said, we are synonymous uh, construction here. We are a partnership with Aboitiz, Equity Ventures, and CRH, world leading business. A lot of you may be or may not be familiar with what we look like in. Ito yung first na kung paano kami may kilala. If you're a professional, you're a contractor, buy materials, pwedeng foreman would probably know what replacement is. We are known as Republic, and we have these red bags. In Batangas, we are known as Fortune. We have this light blue bag. And Cebu, we have Master, have Mindanao. Okay. Now allow me to react on the data that we have. Yung data natin sa statistics, I would say we don't look at it as that alone. We, as much as possible, because we want to get what is the big picture, what macro, and understand what this. Is it okay if you can show the table that I sent? These are small picture. Hindi ako masyadong nag-dwell into data, but there are trends, and if when I started looking at the construction back in July, actually a funny start of interaction was that I asked Sir Nestor, Sir Nestor, this kind of data, will they be available, especially yung monthly? Because the previous data I saw from PSA website, a quarterly data. Now, Sir Nestor reacted first and said, ginagamit niyo rin pala yung data. Yes, we look at the PSA data construction, but we also use other data published by PSA, so by other department of the to have a clear grasp of what's happening in the industry, because we are a supplier. We produce and we need to manage how much we produce, and also we need to maintain a certain level of to stakeholders, the professionals, the contractors, the hardwares, ganyan. So with the macro picture, yes, the 2020 to 2023, based on the total area, seems to show a downward picture of the construction. But looking at the fixed capital for me, we look at it as the total capital na nilagay sa isang industry. And for this one, this is for construction. It's different story. Yeah. So we try to show both sides na, okay, we have ito yung permits, but at the same time, we look at ito na yung done, ito na yung fixed capital formation, invest na to. So, tapos na yung story. But we're saying, oh, these are the total. And if we're gonna look at the backward, what's the performance of the industry, what's companies related to cement, like other manufacturers, then that would tell us na, okay, here's the picture. Now, with the Philippines naman, ayan. With the Philippines, we also look at not only the household, not only the non-commercial, but we also look at, okay, what is the investment in financial and non-financial corp, this is the private sector, also at the same time government. Now, this is really an interesting table for me, because there's a period there na yung gross fixed capital formation, mas malaki yung kay government. So it tells us that it's not only private and residential when it comes to construction. a big part of it, a big part of the story right now, if I'm gonna talk about what is the Philippines right now, uh, here the government is a partner in nation building. So we can see 2021 as malaki government, and still in 2023, malaking part pa rin sa government, even bigger than the private sector. So that's how I would build the narrative about the macroeconomics, maybe to better or to give more example how I would put it. Um, this is one of the more recent macroeconomic narrative that I wrote. First, I start with what is the GDP growth for the last quarter. Q3, it's 5.2%, and in Q2, yeah, that's in Q3 2024. But the year to date is 5.8%. So we're saying that we're a growing country. And for my readers, the readers would be the investor, the shareholders, the management. There's already a direct comparison of how much did other countries grow, especially here in Southeast Asia. So as of Q3 2024, we're the fastest country in Southeast Asia. And then I followed with what is the subsector, how much was the growth in each sector, and also with the consumption side of the GDP, what growth. I tried to also talk about what is the inflation for the year-to-date period and also compared to years, just to illustrate where is the trend going? Are we managing our inflation? Was the government successful in monetary policy that they implemented? And then I usually followed it by saying, okay, here's the policy rate right now, the average FX rate, and also try to discuss what is our current spending for infrastructure. And finally, I also discussed what is the construction. So that's how I would use it in one of the tasks. Overall, that's my reaction to.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Cruz. Now to may we request DNS Grace, ANS Rachel, and RD Nodi to award the plaque of appreciation to our discussants. Okay, allow me to read the citation. Republic of the Philippines, Philippine Statistics Authority. This plaque of recognition is hereby awarded to Ms. Willa Boots J. Tolo in grateful recognition and sincere appreciation for her invaluable service rendered as discussant during the National Data Dissemination Forum on Construction Statistics, given the second day of December 2024, signed Claire Dennis S. Mapa, Undersecretary, National Statistician, and Civil Registrar General. And the same plaque of recognition is awarded to Mr. Marian Carlo R. Cruz. Once again, a round of applause to our discussants this morning. And now let's proceed to the open forum. This is your chance to share your thoughts, reactions to the discussions from from our discussants and keynote speaker, and also to our presenters this morning. So to facilitate the open forum, may I request the Supervising Statistical Specialist of the Industry Statistics Division of the Economic Sector Statistics Service, Ms. Joyce B. Igsan. A round of applause, please.
Thank you, Jordan. Okay, so all right. So at this juncture, we are now in one of the highlights of this event. So I would like to encourage everyone to raise your questions or your comments, suggestions as well, and clarifications about the statistics or the discussion made by our keynote speaker as well as the discussants. But before we open the floor, may I invite on stage Assistant Secretary Grace Del Prado, Assistant National Statistician Rachel Laksa, Regional Director Pasiano Dizon, Chief Statistical Specialist John Paul Sakop, Chief Statistical Specialist Jing Rocabo, Attorney John Alexander Beldirol, Ms. Willa Boots Tolo, and Mr. Marion Carlo Cruz. All right. So just a reminder to everyone, when raising your questions or your clarifications, please state your name and the agency or the company that you are representing, so that you will be fully acknowledged and documented as well. All right. Okay, I think we're I think we're ready to go. So the floor is now open for questions or queries. Please again state your name before you raise your questions or your queries. All right? So who would like to go first? So would there be anyone who would like to clarify something or would like to say something? Or suggestions? Remember that construction is one activity that drives our economy for at least for the last 3 years, based on our gross domestic product results. So, is there anyone who would like to? I guess what for me, because again, reiterating that construction is one of the driver for our economy. And as much as we would really like to reflect what is happening on the ground, we would like to widen the coverage of our statistics. Remember that the statistics that we are releasing is based only on approved building permits. What might be your suggestions or comments on how we can do? So, I think I would like Attorney John Villarol to answer my query.
Okay, if it's all right, ma'am, and just the key points on the can you
Uh, Suggestions on
Oh,
how we can
can
widen
improve.
or
Okay.
broaden our.
Right. First, I'd like to restate something that I've said no while the presentations were ongoing. So, yung maybe we can expand a little bit to include other agencies in China when the on residential buildings were the very prominent role ng residential buildings natin dito no as a contributor to all of this information that we have. So I was hoping siguro maybe next time we can invite City Sud no to perhaps provide some feedback on this role. And I have also look over. Some of the things that were presented earlier were quite surprising to me, no? Sa totoo lang, no? So I was genuinely surprised on some of these things. So initially, we have a very good data set, no? So we're based on permits. That's something we can easily verify. So we have added another tool, no, to our framework. So recently, I think everybody here is aware that we've signed an interagency circular, no, with PSA, the ILG also. So wala pa lang number ngayon, no, yung circular. This the next thing that we're going to figure out. But one important tool there is that we now have a different source of information aside from permits. Yung kasi, yung local government code natin. So we had this idea because when we were looking back at the local government code, apparently the data on permits are supposed to be passed along to the source. They have a duty to do that. So we can use that to check or to validate certain things. Kasi if you've noticed, some of the problems that we have is that a lot of the constructions nationwide are undocumented. When we say undocumented, we're not saying that these structures are of poor quality. No? We're just saying that based on the documentation, there's no record of them, no, in our processes. However, the good thing is that for many of our stakeholders, no, they can clearly see the benefits of putting this in some kind of a public record. No, for example, for purposes of having a higher appraisal, no, of properties. Kanina it was mentioned that the mortgage-related data not included in the current process. But in some of the cases that we've handled in Quezon City, so hindi mo makita sa permit yung structure, but it is adequately described in the assessor's office kasi yung yung landowner in-include niya sa mortgage niya yung structure niya. So it is accurate up to the, let's say, self-reported na cost, no. So may naka-data doon on the cost, on the basic features of the structure, not as detailed as what you would get from the permits, but it's a different data source that we can get with financials. So that's one thing that we can do, no. Another thing, this is also related to my observations on residential buildings, no. So when you are you've divided it, we've divided it roughly into two categories, the residential and the non-residential. So it is actually a very good division, no. A very rational one for at least one important reason. Okay, so what is this reason? For commercial buildings kasi and the rest of these buildings, no, on top of being just used, typically there will be additional transactions relating to that one. So you cannot operate a commercial establishments generally without getting a business permit or some other kind of permit. So the self-reporting for non-residential structure is actually quite high compared to residential because you have to interact at some point with the government. So they will check you for payment of taxes, for example, or for other compliances. So you can't get these permits under current processes if you don't get a building permit. So mataas yung reporting for the commercial and non-residential buildings. Okay? For residential buildings, on the other hand, so marami talagang undocumented compared to these other kinds of construction. So maybe that's a good starting point to determine kung saan ipo-focus yung efforts natin in documentation. Kasi these are really the kind of structures na kung bibisitahin man siya or may interactions that will happen with the Office of the Building Official, generally the initiative would come from the government rather than the stakeholder. So that's one way to improve yung constructions natin. And one thing I did notice about these constructions is that we can probably expand yung natin, no, yung scope nito, not just to include your basic building permits which would generally measure the inhabited structures, no. So we also issue permits, by the way, for portions of buildings that do not necessarily translate into the kind of information that we have right now. So for example, billboards, no, or signs. So it's also covered by the permitting process. Recently yung passive telecommunication structures, which dumadami yan, no? So wala namang mga floor areas yan or similar metrics, but definitely they contribute to the constructions that we have. So well, we have something like I mentioned, no, we have something that's already very solid and can adequately perhaps address many of the questions to na kung kailangan i-produce to yung relevant data. So I can think of a few uses for them. Even in Congress, no, you can provide the data for this one. But maybe next year we can further solidify yung natin, no, and improve this. So even in the reporting. Maybe we can kami sa department, no, maybe we can come up with a way to improve the reporting process, because I believe that
Yes.
it's very much driven by data collection done at the local level. So
Yes.
kami sa central office, we generally rely so much on our building officials to adequately report this, which is why it's a very good development that we now have access to the records dun sa assessors. No, so that's two
Very
data sources. So they would tend to complement each other. And additionally, perhaps we can bring along some of our other agencies. So para at least ma-improve din natin yung yung process natin. And initially, that would be my suggestion. I believe pwede ding
Mag-add.
sa discussion yung mga
Yes.
natin, colleagues natin.
Thank you, attorney. I think Ma'am Grace. Would you like to say? Oh, okay.
Sige, okay. So, thank you very much, Attorney Jen, for your suggestions, because now we know that there are other sources pala of data for our construction statistics. So currently, we're just relying on the approved building permits. Now we know that we have other sources. Maybe we can coordinate with to have the details on the coordination regarding the provision of this data. Siguro in addition, kasi na-mention na ni attorney yung ating joint, yung GMC natin and the three agencies that would also facilitate the collection of building permits from our LBOs. Siguro, as a statistical agency, the statistical, the authority on official statistics, we would want to have always timely and reliable data. So, yung request siguro namin is to have a full coverage of the building permits in all cities and municipalities. So currently, when we have maybe later on Ines Rachel would explain that, we have a pilot study in terms of collecting data on construction statistics by covering also those that are not covered by our LBO. So we observed na meron palang mga constructions na hindi or walang building permits. So later on siguro may Ines Rachel would give more context to that. So that's this one. Second is to facilitate and improve our collection. Siguro in the future we are aiming to have a digital submission na rin ng building permit. So it's not just us getting the copies of these permits, but already a digital copy of that para mabawasan din yung processing na ginagawa kasi that also eat a lot of our time including in the field offices and processing the data. So that's one wish. And third, siguro just connected to the first one that I mentioned, yung strict implementation siguro ng ating the application of building permits, kasi we saw that there are cities and municipalities that are not really strict on. I think that's that. And
I've seen quite a number of other agencies here, but I think this point needs to be stressed a little bit, no? So we haven't done some segregation on the sources of all of these permits, whether that's government or private, no? Kasi that's another reasonable division that we can make. Kasi in my view, lahat kasi dapat ng government buildings and structures, dapat they're formally, may documentation dapat yan, no? Documentation. But here's the, I think, one problem, no? Problem. So, we tend to relax a little bit kapag regulator ka if you're encountering a government project. So, I'm not sure how many of our government projects or what percentage are completely covered by the relevant permits. That's one problem that have, no? Ang kasi, ang tendency kasi natin sometimes is to treat this as more of a procurement-related concern rather than regulations-related concern. So, ang sa akin lang is hindi naman necessarily ititigil mo yung construction, it's a government project, but we could do a bit more if we would formalize this construction. So, I'm not sure how stringently this is enforced in the field with respect to to the government sector, no, with respect to our own permits. So this should be the first thing that's available because it tends to simplify yung gathering natin dito ng ano data, no. And I guess one key weakness why this is sometimes difficult to carry out, no. I don't know kung kinikip track ba talaga natin yung government constructions with respect to permits. Perhaps the things that would get this started would be to have a separate reporting, no, for government projects or for government buildings para at least klaro yung documentation dito. No? So that's one way to look at it. And I guess another thing which is actually hindi naman siya ganyan ka-achievable, no, initially, but we can work towards this. If you've noticed, a lot of the government infrastructure, meron ng unique identifiers, no? Whether that's in the project ID or track ID, that's one. And certain kinds of public buildings, meron ding mga ID like for example schools, no? May mga ID numbers yung schools. I'm not sure if there is somebody putting a unique ID number for every government building. I'm not even sure if that's workable or ano, no, that's a practical yung paggawa ng ano pag-assign ng unique identifiers, no. But one thing I've noticed is that sometimes yung description ng gusali, no, it's not perfectly captured in tools that we have to record this for purposes like this, no, for reporting the number of government buildings. Kanina there's no separation, no, public ba or not yung mga constructions. I think that's one key improvement that we can have to put a documentation here of government buildings on one hand and private constructions on the other. So we can probably see, no, kung gaano kalaki yung contribution ni public sector dito sa constructions. Maybe we can even include yung structures constructed by GOCCs, state colleges and universities and the like, para at least meron siyang sariling metric pagdating doon.
Thank you, Attorney Jan. Just to give context dun sa sinasabi ni Assistant Secretary Grace kanina, no? As you know, our construction statistics currently is only based on approved building permit. As mentioned earlier, the data's limitations, as it is only includes those that has approved building permit. And as mentioned earlier, we had this initiative pushed by our Undersecretary Claire Dennis Mapa to see aside from those na may approved building permit, let's look gaano ba kadami yung mga building constructions na possibly walang approved building permits. That's why we had this pre-test activity or of listing of building constructions. We had a pre-test, hindi naman sa NCR, but we have several observations during that pre-test, and I would like to take this opportunity na nandito si Attorney Jan, nandito ang ating mga LBOs, no, because we have this recommendation. We noticed nung nag-pre-test kami, yung as mentioned by Attorney John earlier, yung malalaking buildings, yung mga commercial buildings, talagang may approved building permit na yan. So basically, we are capturing that, yung mga commercial buildings. Pero yung maliliit, yun yung hindi pa natin talaga nakaka-capture. And nung nagtatanong kami, bakit po kayo walang approved building permit? Some of the answers are, kailangan ba? So one of the suggestion actually in our pre-test report is to encourage or to recommend to the National Building Office and the LBOs to have more information dissemination. Ano ba yung mga building, ano ba yung mga constructions na kailangan ng building permits because of that pre-test activity nga. And we would like to take this opportunity to push forth that recommendation. Thank you.
And so, would there be, would like to add?
So sorry, I'm getting the microphone a lot, no. So I have a thought, no, of also incorporating some data na by ourselves, parang nahihirapan kami ng konti to incorporate. So one thing you would notice about our present law, no, sa building code is that it tends to pay for itself pagdating sa enforcement, no? So meron siyang mechanism to shift the burden of regulation directly to the stakeholder. Yung nagaano yung mga nakikipag-transact sa building officials. So perhaps this can also be measured, no, kung how much income the government really derives from all of these transactions with the building permit. Kasi this can be an important data in determining kung i-raise natin yung mga fees, for example, to the buildings. And this is actually quite relevant and very current na data because the collection of the fees do not stop after completion ng construction. So if you read the code, no, every year kasi kailangan ma-check natin yung condition or status of the building. So chine-check yan ng building officials on an annual basis. So nagde-derive din tayo ng income dyan for the transactions. Except for the buildings owned by the government, yun, walang income yun. But you can actually keep track on how much it costs the government, no, to regularly check, no, yung status ng mga buildings as well as to determine yung mga cost ng mga fees, no. So you can even get a breakdown kung how much of this goes to local government, how much of this goes to the national government and to the office the building official. So these are, I think, data that would be of interest, no, to policymakers. Yung yung talagang cost to because it would tell us of the need kung kailangan ba nating i-increase ng konti yung mga fees in the near future and the like.
Willa?
Assistant Secretary Grace mentioned a while ago the importance of digitalization of the data. So I think there's an ongoing project of the Bureau of Local Government Finance or under the DOFs, the RPIS or the Real Property Information System. So it's supposed to be an comprehensive database of the market value. So I think kasama po doon yung mga taga local government units. So hopefully yung transactions data will be included in that comprehensive database. In the part of the BSP kasi, we had our methodology reviewed under the Interagency Committee on Price Statistics, and one of the recommendations is, in order to have a comprehensive measure of price indices, is to have other data sources, not just bank loan data. So yun po yung tinatap namin to have that kind of data, administrative data, and since dapat talaga digital, no? So we will be able to access that in a timely manner. So hopefully, let's pray na ma-push through yon. I think they already signed the MOA, yung mga core agencies involved in that last year. So hopefully, we'll be able to join the BSP and the PSA moving forward. Thank you po.
Thank you, Ms. Willa. So, Arlene Umbi will be...
Okay, so for every charts, matrix, graphs, lahat yan may kwento. Like for example, we saw in Parañaque, kaya nag-uusap kami na kung saan biglang tumaas yung floor area nila. Sabi ko, because that's entertainment city. That's the time na ginagawa yung mga entertainment city. Alam niyo, susuga ko yung sabi ni Ans Rachel, no? During the directorate, talagang one of the trust of PSA is talagang habang nag-field work, nakikita mo merong construction, check mo talaga. That's one of the trust. And I'm very happy na kayo ng pre-test. I'm not happy dahil hindi sa NCR ginawa. I'm happy dahil may pre-test na. Alam mo, in one of the, ang ginagawa ng ibang LGUs, gini-geotag yung mga building permits. Pinupuntahan, gini-geotag nila. And then, even during weekend, they inspect through drones. Nagpapalipad sila ng drones doon sa mga walang geotag na mga constructions to see kung merong nagaganap na construction. Some of the LGUs ganun ang ginagawa. So para nakukuha talaga, aside for those reasons, sabi ni Ans Rachel na kailangan ba ang sagot ng mga nagpapagawa? But still, nakikita para Kasi this is very important, not only on statistics, pero syempre yung para nai-inspect din. Tama ba? Nai-inspect din yung paggawa ng mga buildings natin. Okay, and then sabi ko nga, lahat yan may kwento eh, no? Yung present ni Ma'am Boots kanina na mataas ang loan sa NCR pero ang baba ng sa ang ginagamit, wala ako nakitang NCR. Pwede ba yung may mga instances naglo-loan sa bank sa NCR pero bumibili sa Calabarzon? Di ba? So may mga kwento ang bawat graphs natin eh. So with that, I would like to thank, of course, ASEC, Grace, Ans Rachel, and the whole team because this is the first time na magkaroon tayo ng ganitong information dissemination. And definitely, limited tayo sa building construction permits, sa mga building permits na binibigay po sa atin ng ating mga LBOs. But surely, it will come a time, hindi lang yung mga administrative data makukuha natin for this. And it will come a time na talagang makikita natin the real, yung totoo na up to the extent na hindi lang sa data, hindi lang sa permits, but even other data administrative from other from other national government. Sabi nga, wala yung government dyan. Hindi mo nga alam, minsan kung nagpapatayo ng ang PSB, ba patayo ng building, may permit ba to?
May permit
meron.
naman.
So yun lang, no? Some few of the inputs lang from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Arlinodi. So, would there be... So, okay. This administration will... okay. All right. I thought it's going to add something. So, okay. So that's a fruitful discussion. But to our guests, there might be clarifications or you might want to add to the discussion that we had. Nada? No? Okay. All right. So Sir Marian would like to add something.
As I was listening in, most of the key points in this discussion is about getting accurate information from each LGU, what type of construction, right? Or do they have permits or do they don't have permits? And how do we integrate other sources of information? I guess from private sector, one aspect that, because if this happens, the way I would see it is that for a private individual, maybe I want to invest, not in NCR, maybe I want to invest in Mindanao, right? I want to know how much is the construction cost in this location. And with the readily available information that has been cleaned, and then we know that on the ground that really reflects as much as possible the reality on the ground, then it will make it easier for a private individual to, okay, I'm gonna invest in this place to build maybe a factory, maybe a warehouse, maybe I want to put my business now in this location, a restaurant. So those are the things that how a private individual would be using this data. And sana magawa natin. And this would be not a job of just the people who leads each department, but this is a job for everyone in the company.
Okay. Thank you, Sir Marian. All right. So there's a question there. All right. So sir, please state your name and
Good
your...
morning. It's not a question actually. I'm Romil from a private sector also, same as Mr. Cruz. We are a manufacturing company of PVC. Affiliate company namin ang Philippine Resin and Mabuhay Vinyl. So, just a comment lang, the data kasi na pinag-uusapan natin is very important for us for market research. I want to second the one mentioned by Mr. Cruz. Nagagamit namin yung mga data po na galing sa inyo for our market research and also plan for expansions, no? We understand we still have more than 6 million backlogs pa for housing projects. So we see that an opportunity for us kasi as manufacturing company. So meaning, based sa data natin, less than 1 million a year lang ang nako-construct na houses. So kung tama, hindi ko sure ang data ko, but yung na nababasa ko lang. So meaning, sa 6 million, 6.5, 6.7 backlog siguro is may ang company, ang mga businesses, especially the construction is uh, sure na may market for the coming years, parang ganun po. So we would like we appreciate talaga sana yung timely and prompt data na nakukuha namin from you. Yung kanina nagbabrowse ako sa website, yun updated na, nakikita ko na September na. So sometimes medyo hindi kami nakakakuha agad ng data. So nag-i-email na lang ako, sino ba yung Jordan ba yun? Oo, ang sumasagot sa amin sa email. Thank you very much po. Yun lang po.
Right, thank you, sir, for that reaction po. So, I guess that's it na. It's already 10 minutes to 12 na po. But anyway, actually, Ma'am Asek Grace would like to answer the reaction of sir. Reaction.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir, for your comments, no, and your reaction to this, to our release of data. Yes, we are really trying to improve continuously the timeliness of releasing our data, and just lately, no, this January we started to release monthly instead of just quarterly. Kasi sabi namin, monthly nga yung collection, dapat monthly din yung release. So we have improved that starting January. And you can see that if you go to our OpenStat, you can get data up to the city, municipality level. So that's why we encourage other cities and municipalities to also submit on time their approved building permits or impose strictly the application of building permits, because there are other cities, municipalities with zero construction.
Actually, that just to reiterate, the Philippine Statistics Authority is actually collecting the approved building permits within first 5 days of each reference. So that's our timeline when we gather, the document. Attorney John.
No, siguro. Actually, I have a lot to out, but no? So first magre-react siguro sa presentation, no? So like I said, some of the results were quite surprising, surprising to me. So for instance, no, so something very concrete, yung sa the data on Valenzuela, no? So I don't believe na in absolute terms mas maraming constructions kay Valenzuela, no, at any given time compared to some of our. But perhaps what we can derive there is baka mabilis lang talagang mag-process sila sa permits. Kaya ang dami nilang kaya nag-a-appear dyan sa records na maraming ongoing construction. Maybe it tends to confirm what I think, no, I know about the thing, kasi si Valenzuela has pioneered a lot of the one-stop shop
like
and the like, no. Maybe if we can demonstrate this to the LGUs, makikita natin, no, about may discrepancy sa construction. I would have expected na for example na some of the would have general data, no, so doesn't account for things that we baka yung iba diyan hindi inaprubuhan yung or sinuspend or cancel yung meets. We don't know these things, but what we do know is what our eyes tell us pag sa sa description ng kung saan yung pinakamarami at any given and the like, no. So it's a good tool, no, to observe din yung efficiency ng process, I guess. For the record, no, I do know that yung iba nating mga LGU are actually processing a lot of the permits currently, but perhaps hindi pa siya because because of some problems, no. Let's say may delay dun sa release of certain clearances, no, or the like. Hindi natin yan na measure pa ganun yung specific na mga days. Yun yung like I mentioned, no, if the data generated is majority karamihan diyan nagko-contribute sa residential, it doesn't add up to what I know. Example, ang dami-dami it's compared to other LG. Probably it's a measure of how quickly dispose of. Maganda sana din na makita natin yan per region. I mean, it's a laborious. I know it's laborious, but when you present this in front of an audience of local, they start to want kung bakit, no, mas marami dapat tayong it's compared to others. So perhaps we can have a session with there, no, baka per region. And it's difficult, no, to put this in practice. We have more than 1,600 pagdating sa nationwide, no. But you do have to wonder about some of the things that we're seeing, no. I'll give just one more example about the we do keep the data on the remittances fees, no. Surprisingly din, no, may mga maliliit na local governments na yung collections sila are stronger than some of the bigger local governments. So I don't believe na that means na mas maraming mga gusali na pinapatayo doon. Baka meron lang tayong hindi na-document na ng mga buildings because magugulat ka if you compare their classification as to what class of city or municipality this is. Mas malaki yung collections sila compare dito sa collections sa other cities, no. So ang sinasabi ko dito, no, so it could be because the reporting is not consistent, or it could be because we are letting some of these buildings hindi pa natin to naano ng masyado, no, nahihimay ng masyado yung records niya and your backgrounds niya. So we can actually start by perhaps disseminating, no, kung ano dapat yung I mean if you publish these things yung data, you will see sometimes na discrepancies. We'll actually try to make this available to yung mga records namin sa collections. So I believe si Treasury din has a record of this kasi nire-remit yan. There's a copy given to the Bureau of Treasury on the collections. You can use this as an additional source of information, yung collections. Kasi iisa lang naman yung table na ginagamit for computation. It should support the data collected from the permits based on the number of stories, for example, the floor area, kung talaga bang accurate yung pag so anyway, these are just some of my observations, no. If you were surprised kanina sa pinakita, ako I'm also surprised by some of the things that we've seen, no. On the strength of collections, yun talaga minsan naguguluhan kami, ba't ang laki-laki ng collections galing dito sa LGU na to, when in fact this is a second or third class municipality, tapos ang hina-hina sa ibang ganun po.
Alright. So, alright. Please state your name and...
Good afternoon po. Carlene Luna from Office of the Building Official po in Valenzuela. So just to clarify lang po kasi na special mention po kami ni attorney. Sorry. Actually, kanina nung pinresent din po yung data, we were very surprised kasi nga, sabi ko, hala, kami pala yung top 1 when it comes to construction permits. But actually, the main reason why kaya po kami nag-number 1 doon is kasi po, masyadong mahigpit sa Valenzuela. Sa Valenzuela po kasi yung mga permits na ini-issue namin, majority po, siguro mga half or mga, I don't know with regards to the exact percentage, pero kasi we're not just pertaining to ongoing or proposed construction Kasi those permits also includes yung mga existing. Kasi kay Valenzuela, we have this system wherein interconnected po yung mga offices like building official, assessors, and business permit. So we have this audit team wherein, for example, this particular structure na it was found out na walang permit. So we have this authority or we have this power na pag hindi ka nag-comply ng building permit, we are going to what do you call that? To coordinate with the business permit and the assessor's office na i-hold yung mga RPT payment or yung renewal ng business permit as long as hindi ka nagko-comply. So kaya po siguro yun yung main reason kung bakit ang taas ng data namin when it comes to issuance of building permit. Kasi nga po, masyadong coordinated po yung different offices ng LGU namin.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the clarification. All right. So I guess that would be it for the open forum. So again, just reiterating, remember that construction is one of the driver for our economy's growth. So again, there's also that recommendation for the LBOs or LGUs to strictly implement, the application of the building permit, because again, the statistics that we are generating from those documents is really a great help in reflecting what is really happening on the ground, and at the same time for our private individuals to use that data in their market. So maraming salamat po mga sires and madams. So thank you, Assistant Secretary Grace, Assistant National Secretary Rachel, Attorney John, Sir Marion, Miss Villa, Sir John, there's John, si Sir Jing, and of course si RD Nodi. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much to our resource persons and also to our moderator, Ma'am Joyce Igsad. At this juncture, we are all excited to move on to a very special part of our program to acknowledge and give recognition to our active partners who provided us with accurate and timely data from approved building permits. Without their cooperation and support, we cannot produce the information we provide to our policymakers. Criteria used in determining the awardees are as follows: timeliness and submission, completeness of data, data quality and consistency, and cooperation and accessibility. May we request DNS Grace, AS Rachel, and RD Nodi to present the award or the plaque of recognition to our top LGUs. So our top LGUs will receive a plaque of recognition for their unwavering support and valuable contributions to the generation of construction statistics through the timely and accurate submission of approved building permits to the Philippine Statistics Authority. Ladies and gentlemen, our first awardee is the City of Manila. Officially, the City of Manila is the capital and second most populous city of the Philippines, located on the eastern shore of Manila Bay on the western coast of Luzon. To receive the award, may we request Mr. Richard Tolentino, focal person for building permits. Okay, our second awardee is the City of Marikina. Marikina is known as the shoe capital of the Philippines, owing to its famous shoe industry. It is the biggest manufacturer of shoes in the Philippines, producing almost 70% of shoes made in the country, located along the eastern border of Metro Manila. To receive the award, may we request CSS Helen Adulacion. Our third awardee is the City of Parañaque. To receive the award, may we request Engineer Mary Jane A. Badillo. Parañaque is the home of Entertainment City, a gaming and entertainment complex under development by the state-owned Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation in Bay City, where 4 large integrated resorts are based. Once again, congratulations to the City of Parañaque, our third awardee. Our fourth awardee is the City of Taguig. To receive the award, may we request Engineer Harris Ricafort and Architect Dennis Alan Juan. So Taguig is a coastal city located in eastern shores of Metro Manila. It is the fifth most populous city in the country. The city is one of the Philippines' cultural, financial, high-tech, entertainment, and media centers with significant influence on commerce, healthcare, research, technology, education, politics, tourism, dining, art, fashion, and sports. Taguig is also an important center for the country's international diplomacy, hosting several embassies. The city also home to the headquarters of several major multinational corporations. Congratulations to our fourth awardee, City of Taguig. And our last but not the least awardee is the City of Valenzuela. To receive the award, may we request Ms. Carlene De Luna and Engineer Ralph Renzo Ruiz. The City of Valenzuela is known as the northern gateway to metropolitan Manila due to two major highways traversing it, the MacArthur Highway and the North Luzon Expressway, a landlocked chartered city located on the island of Luzon. Congratulations to our last awardee, City of Valenzuela. Okay, congratulations to our awardees. And also thank you very much to DNS Grace, ANS Rachel, and RD Nodi. And to formally close our program, may I invite here on stage the Regional Director of PSA NCR to give his closing remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, let's all welcome Regional Director Pasiano B. Dizon. A round of applause, please.
Thank you, Jordan. Sa mga kapwa ko lingkod bayan, sa ating pong stakeholders, isa pong magandang tanghali sa inyong lahat. On behalf of the Philippine Statistics Authority, it is my honor to express our deepest gratitude to all of you. As we are about to end the program, let me first send my gratitude for your time, participation, and invaluable contributions to the success of the first National Data Dissemination Forum on Construction Statistics. Also, please allow me to extend my sincere thanks to our valued local building officials of our LGUs. Sa inyo po, maraming salamat for your cooperation and continued commitment in providing accurate building permits data. Your efforts made it possible for us to present the comprehensive and insightful results that we shared today. Congratulations to the outstanding local government units recognized today for their exemplary contributions. Your commitment to diligently and promptly completing and submitting the approved building permit form sets a benchmark for others. I challenge other LGUs to continue to strive and see your city named as the awardee in the next Data Dissemination Forum. Moreover, please allow me to express my sincere appreciation to our keynote speakers, to our discussants, for their valuable insights and recommendations to further enhance the quality and relevance of construction statistics from approved building permits. I would also like to express my admiration for the insightful and valuable discussions during the open forum. Your active participation demonstrates our mutual interest and commitment to continually improve our data collection and dissemination process. I also commend everyone who has generously dedicated your time and expertise to ensure the success of this forum. Of course, to ISD, to the PSA, NCR field personnel for your support. Tuloy lang po, kolekta lang po tayo. Our gratitude also to the technical and support staff from the Information Technology and Dissemination Service. I encourage everyone to continue supporting PSA endeavors, not only sa building permit, sa ating PAPS and CBMS, sa ating pong provincial product accounts, dahil ang LGU po ng bawat syudad at munisipyo ay tunay na katuwang po natin sa statistika. Once again, maraming salamat po sa inyo lahat.
Thank you, RD Nodi, for that passionate closing remarks. All right, so before we go to, or we have our lunch break, may I request Assistant Secretary Grace Del Prado, and Assistant National Statistician Rachel Laksa, and of course, RD Nodi, to come on stage so that we can all right, we can award our certificate of appreciation to our MC for today, Mr. Jordan Jan Arnaez. So let me just read the certificate of appreciation. So this is in grateful recognition and sincere appreciation for his invaluable service rendered as MC during this national data dissemination today. So this will be given by our Assistant Secretary. Thank you very much, Sir Jordan. Of course, with the token.
Okay, thank you very much, everyone. So, thank you, Ma'am Grace, and to the team of Anus Rachel and Sir John Paul, Sir Nodi. So, this is the end of our program. Reminder to our participants to please accomplish the evaluation form and submit it to our secretariat. So, thank you and enjoy our lunch while being entertained by Miss Razel. Right. Okay, so thank you very much and have a great day. Thank you.